Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to find yard sales and garage sales and whatnot. Hey guys, welcome to Mickey Flippins. I'm Mickey. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm a eBay reseller, antique dealer, flea market vendor, and got a few orders to pull, eBay orders, and gonna talk a little bit about yard sales because I'm probably gonna go hit some yard sales after this, after I get my orders pulled and find some fresh inventory, hopefully. The weather is a little cloudy, but I think it'll be a decent day for yard sales. It's Friday. There's a town-wide going on not too far away from here. I'll try to get some footage if I can. Can't find my chest harness thing. But did hit a town-wide a week or so ago that bought a few things that, like these Pokémon cards. They're from the 90s, but they're like all commons, and I don't know much. I haven't done much with Pokemon cards since I was a kid. And it looks like there's multiples of each kind, but they're all commons, from what I can tell. A couple fossil nuts in there. But yeah, how should I sell those? I was thinking about taking one of each and doing like an auction, seeing how they did. I don't know. What would you guys do? Let me know in the comments how you would go about selling Pokemon cards like that. And Ghostbusters Ecto one of my favorite toys from childhood. That brings back some memories. I bought that at a tiny little flea market yesterday that I go to here once in a while. And it came with some figures. Got the Fright Features Winkman, Fright Features Winston, Screaming Hero, and Power Pack Winston. So that was pretty cool little find. I paid $25. Plus I got two first series Ghostbusters Egon and Peter, which I put on my shelf inside. Also the ghost that goes with the Ecto, the little orange guy, and I listed him separate. I got them all listed now. So I got that taken care of. Let's grab an order. I gotta move the Darth Vader case. And it's lunchbox, one of the yellow ones. And I see a yellow one. Yep, that's the one I'm looking for. Oh, it's all the way in the back. That's a 1980s Golden Girl, the Guardian of the Gemstones. Kind of like a She-Ra knockoff, I'm guessing. I don't know if it was an actual show or if it was just a toy line, but here's the lunchbox for it. It's got the thermos in there. That sells for $18 plus shipping. So I'll just put that there for right now. As most people, I'm sure, know about the classified ads. That was the classic way of finding yard sales, finding them in the classifieds of your newspapers. Then Craigslist would come along, but, and I think people still use that, so that's another place to keep in mind. Some people might forget about it because it doesn't get used as much as, say, Facebook Marketplace anymore, which, again, that's another place you can find yard sales. Right on Facebook Marketplace, you can put in a perimeter and find them that way. Hot Wheels to dig out. I gotta get this organized again. I'm pretty sure it was this guy right here, the Baja Bruiser. 1981 Baja Bruiser. That sold for $39. I think free shipping. Or just the good old classic driving around, especially when it's town-wide. I mean, that's obviously easy when it's a town-wide yard sale, but also that can lead to, just driving around. You can just look for signs, look for stuff on the side of the road. You never know. But sometimes the best yard sales are the ones that don't advertise, honestly. So you might want to just kind of scout some areas and look for those signs, and sometimes they'll lead you straight to a great sale. Sometimes. It's not perfect. Sometimes you just waste gas, so definitely not the perfect way to do it, but it's a way. Something out of my bigger bin. I think I put it in here. That's Star Wars. Can't remember the name, but I'll put the listing up right here. And that sold for like $14.98. Vintage Star Wars. I think it's Empire Strikes Back. Just a little space vehicle doohickey, but not much for that. But came with stuff that I've already made money on, so look for those signs, and sometimes they'll lead you straight to a great sale. Sometimes to do it, and that's how I've stumbled upon some of my best sales. Like one time I went to a townwide that sucked. Absolutely sucked. I think I didn't drive terribly far away. It was like 40 minutes. But I get there, and it's supposed to be a town-wide, and there was like 5 sales in the whole town. And it's not a small town, so I was like, this sucks. So to try and salvage my day, I ended up driving what would have been probably another 20, 30 minutes to a different town where I knew there's an antique store that I like to shop at. So on my way there, when I almost get into the town I'm going to, there's this garage sale, and I see nothing but clothes, and I'm like, I hate clothes. At the time, I didn't, buy much vintage clothing, but it was like all clothing, so I wasn't excited. I just stopped. I was like, it's a sale. So I stopped, and I walk up, and there's table after table, like 3, 4, like 8-foot tables just full of vintage, like kind of similar to this one. I did not buy this one there, but I think I kept a couple of those. But vintage advertising hats, and this is 3, 4 years ago when hats were pretty hot. I think they were like $5 each, which for hats at a yard sale, that might be a little steep to some people, but I had just sold a vintage Mack truck hat for like $75 or $80 recently at that time. So I was like, well, some of these are pretty damn cool. There was racing, just advertising. Let's see, like there was one that sold for $700. I sold one of those hats for $700. And I paid, I think it was around $130. I bought, can't remember how many. It was like 20 or whatever, $130 added up to with $5 because she wouldn't even cut me a break, which is fine because at the time I was just grabbing the ones I thought were cool. But the one that sold for like $700 was this rare. It was Daytona or Dayton tires. It was a 3-stripe hat where it's got the 3 stripes on the side. There was a few 3 stripes, and several of those sold for $300-$400. In the end, I probably made close to $2,000 off of that $130 of a yard sale I literally just stumbled on. And had I not struck out at the other townwides, I wouldn't have found this. So sometimes you just get lucky, and that was all there was at this sale, was just those hats and a ton of newer clothes. I kind of wish I had gone through the clothes, but I guess what it was is this lady's husband collected hats, and she's like, well, when he would go someplace, he'd buy a hat. When his buddies at work went somewhere, they'd buy him a hat and bring it back, which was awesome. And she had 2 boxes of really great ones that the grandkids were keeping. So there was so many, and I left a lot. I'm like, after I got to selling and looking up some of the ones, I was like, man, I should have just bought them all. But that's what, you live and you learn in this business for sure. So yeah, obviously there's no real big secret here as to how to find yard sales. I already gave away pretty much the base, like where you find them. It's not hard at all to find the good ones. Yes, you're gonna have to do lots of searching and know what you're looking for, know what it goes for, the sell-through rates and stuff like that. That's something you got to learn with time. So But again, Facebook Marketplace is a great way to go about it. You can just type in garage yard sales, and then it generally will alert you when there's some popping up. If you the way the algorithm works on Facebook, I don't know, but some stuff seems to pop up for me. Facebook groups, look into local Facebook groups. There's several in my area that are just for local yard sales, announcing them and showing off the stuff. And that's one great advantage of today. Or disadvantage, I don't know. Maybe it might kill it because you look at the pictures and overall, maybe they're not taking good pictures, but you just see a lot of what you may consider to be junk, but that gem could be sitting in between those two items on the table. You don't know. That's one thing you shouldn't dismiss a yard sale as you're driving by it. Like I was saying with the hats, I have lots of clothes, and that's a thing. I used to just nope, not stopping at that yard sale. Nope, clothes. I mean, I like clothes, but now that I can sell it, now that I know there's a market for T-shirts and hats and stuff, I definitely buy them. But and I will stop at those sales now. But that's something I learned with time. Same thing if I see a lot of baby toys, I generally won't stop. Sometimes I look for those beacons that tell me to stop, but maybe that's not the best mentality. You should, especially when you're first starting out, you might want to just hit every yard sale. See what you're missing or what you're not missing. Then, like Craigslist, like I said, that's another one. It's probably being slept on now. People are still posting on there. I check it occasionally for yard sales, garage sales, estate sales. Because some people don't use estatesales.net because they're too cheap. Or I just don't like doing all that stuff or whatever. But sometimes I find some estate sales, like I know some local estate sales that don't post on estatesales.net. You get put on their email list, which is great. Because then there's still going to be a lot of people, but it's not going to be like estatesales.net crazy, which the last estate sale I went to, somebody was going to do a fight, so I was like, I'm done with these. But and then like you said, just drive around. One of my grandma, she would have the paper with her in the car when we were going to yard sales as a kid. She'd have the paper. She'd have all the ones she wanted to go to circled, and she had it all planned out. She knew what she was doing. She knew where she was going. And I've seen other dealers where they cut them out, the ones they want to go to, and put them on like a little sheet. So maybe there's a little tip for you. That's not something I do, but it's something I've seen other people do. If you like to be a little more organized, I'm not a very organized person. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants most of the time. So. One more quick sale. Not a lot of sales going out the door today. I already packaged up a few. And anyway, but these are something I bought at the Town Wides last week, too. The same day as I got those Pokemon cards and stuff. But I had a whole box of these. A whole friggin' case of these Tech Deck Dude Evolution Clash Cubes. I guess it was a game. Sort of / collectible cards kind of deal. Bought the whole box for $10. There was 2 cases. I almost bought both of them, but I wasn't sure. I was like, at $10, I might be getting a good deal. But I sold 5 packs for $10. I had them listed for 20 plus shipping. Somebody sent me an offer for $10. I paid $10 for the box, so at least that gets me a good chunk of my money back on the box. And then there was I think I did 60 lots of 5. I split them up into 60 lots of 5 packs each. So let me know in the comments if you got any tips or tricks on how you find yard sales other than, the obvious. One of my favorites, like I said, is just driving around. Because that's how you stumble upon the best ones. Because one, like I said, with the pictures, people see and know what's there. So maybe they're not going to go because, like I said, they just saw something they think is junk. So screw it. And then the ones that aren't advertised are the good ones because they didn't post any pictures. So there's not going to be any perhaps early birds, or sometimes people just decide on the day of Town-wise, they're like, everybody else is doing it, I'll do it too. So grandma pulls out little Jimmy's old toys from when he used to play here in the 90s, So there's that to take into consideration. So Obviously, no big secrets, but just some tips for a new person that's just looking to get into yard sailing, you know, maybe step outside of the thrifting world or whatever. But yeah, so that'll do it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Do some flipping videos now and then, some picking videos now and then. Like, I'm gonna go hit some yard sales now. Maybe I'll do some picking videos. I don't know. But if you like that kind of content, be sure to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does the channel a big help. Small channel growing. We're almost to 500. Let's get us to 500. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you next time.